Greetings, my X-Files geeks, and welcome back to Reopening the X-Files, the podcast that proves the truth is still out there. And welcome to what it turns out is an impromptu live recording of the podcast. You'll notice I'm talking to the camera now, I'm talking to you guys. I won't be in a bit, because I've got my notes here, and I need my notes, because I'm a bit shit. Anyway, I'm Nate, the ultimate movie geek. And I'm joined once again, and this is Agent Powell, everybody.
Aye aye.
She's not an agent, she's not called Powell. But
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Wait,
Not
you were an agent before?
No, not called Powell. Douchebag.
Yeah, so we're back, we're on season 3, episode 2 of season 3, which is our episode 51 of the podcast, which, you know, I'll probably get bored and stop saying which episode it is.
You lose track.
Season 3, episode 2 is called Paperclip, written by Chris Carter and directed by Rob Bowman. And it rounds off the trilogy side with Anasazi and then The Blessing Way. And it's a pretty good... Again, these 3 episodes, I think they're like the hallmark of the X-Files. They are what make the X-Files. This is it. This is... You can't get any better than this.
Yeah, and I think
in my opinion.
If you weren't hooked already beforehand, this would have been the thing to snare you in. Yeah.
Do you want to do a quick rundown of the plot of this?
I'll let you do that.
You'll let me do it because I've got it written here.
You're better than me at that.
Mulder and Scully investigate information gleaned from secret government records, finding that a Nazi scientist working as part of Operation Paperclip may have been responsible for creating a race of human-alien hybrids. So this answers what was found human inside the train car in Anasazi. So we discussed, we didn't know whether it was aliens, if it was humans, but it turns out that it is the first lot of alien-human hybrids.
Trying to make the super soldiers.
Super soldier, not yet.
Could have been their attempt.
Maybe. Well, yeah. It's all that sort of like Captain America sort of stuff, isn't it?
Joseph Mengele sort of crazy crap.
Yeah, so that's it. What did you think? What do you think of the episode?
Yeah, it's a good one. Like you say, it wraps the other episodes up perfectly, and it doesn't tie all the loose ends up, but you do figure out, like you say, what's going on. I still don't like though that he didn't get to go to his dad's funeral. It bothers me.
That was in the last episode.
I know, but it bothers me because like Scully mentions it in this episode, doesn't she? And it's like, I don't know. And then she still hasn't seen her sister because she's under the threat of
they both
potentially getting killed.
Yeah.
And then obviously the sister passes away.
Yeah. And
they've lost somebody extremely close to him in
the
space of probably a week, I would guess. I don't know how quick they do funerals in America. But here it's generally a week, isn't it? Generally.
Yeah, usually.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. They need to pay for it, don't they? And like Krychek in this.
Bad guys.
Oh my god, he like beats up Skinner and takes the hard drive, and oh my god, you don't want him to win, and he's such a smug little snivelling git.
He is, but then again, at the end of this episode, even Krychek is on his own, and there's a great shot of him running from the car before it explodes.
Is he running like Tom Cruise?
He's running like Tom Cruise, yeah.
Can't catch me.
Yeah, and it shows that there's now a third party of in this whole conspiracy. You've got Mulder and Scully on the good side, possibly. I'm assuming, because there are heroes, aren't they? You've got the bad guys.
Questioning
you know what I mean?
Side. You don't experiment with human beings and be on the good side, do you?
Well, I don't know.
They're clearly on the bad side.
Yeah, it makes me sound bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Not bad.
But you know what I mean? It's...
Maybe misunderstood.
Do it... Well, hang on, though, because the idea was that they were trying to postpone the apocalypse or postpone the alien invasion long enough for them to be able to make a vaccine to stop the invasion.
Because
they were postponing it. So, you know, you could look at them, the Syndicate, and think they were actually...
They took kids away from parents to test on and do stuff to. And clone and... That's not ethical.
I know it's not ethical.
Is
but,
it for the great,
alright.
The greater good.
The greater good, or... what's the saying from Star Trek? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. But then in Star Trek it's turned on its head, isn't it? The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the few. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, so you've got a third party now. You've got Krychek, who is against the Syndicate and against Mulder because he hates Mulder. Although this is where it started being like he'd come back every so often and be Mulder's friend and then betray him and then come back again, get punched and then be his friend and then betray him again.
Our son, funnily enough, hates him, doesn't he?
It is, yeah.
Every time he comes on, he's like, I hate Krychek.
We got to the end of season 8 and that's when, spoilers for that show that's old. Come on, it was the early 2000s. It's almost 20 years old. Season 8 is almost 20 years old. But like Krychek that's when he gets killed, and I think he got up and danced, not danced, but went, yes!
Yeah, he sort of fist bumped the air, didn't he? Yes!
Because that was a good ending actually, because Skinner did it.
Yeah, he deserved.
He needed to do it,
that closure.
Mentally, even though Krychek killed both Scully's sister and Mulder's dad.
Yeah, it's a shit house.
Yeah. Anyway, so you've got that. Albert Holstein is in this one again, and say what you were going to say about Cigarette Smoking Man.
It's the first time he is properly rattled.
Where's the tape?
You can tell that this comes in. He's very well acted in this. I think you can tell he's on edge. He's quite upset, and then he loses it. Doesn't he, with Skinner, and you can tell it's like it's really important to him. And you don't really get that before.
No.
Or very much after.
He's always so cool, isn't he?
Cool. Even when he's bricking it, even when somebody shoots a gun and purposely misses it.
Yeah, like when Mulder held the gun to him.
He doesn't hardly flinch. I mean, afterwards you can tell he's relieved. But like this, he's proper. It's probably because he doesn't want it to get out.
Because that is the end. If these papers get out.
It's like 50 or whatever many years in the making.
Everyone's names are in it. Mulder's dad's name's in the document as well. It's good. So it's Mulder and Scully are now sort of, are they pushed out? They're not working within the law in this episode.
No.
They're sort of on the run. With Skinner's help.
Yeah.
And they go and find a Nazi scientist called Kempler?
Kempler in his greenhouse,
Klemper, sorry. And he tells them to go somewhere to, I think it's called Strughold Mining Facility. And that's found by fact later. And then they find a lot of files on the ground. And these files date from the 50s all the way to, present day.
I guess.
And they find Scully's file, which has a recent tissue sample from her. So that suggests that the tissue sample was taken when she was abducted. So then Mulder runs to find his sister's file, which he finds, but strangely his sister's name is stuck over his name, suggesting that he was supposed to be the one who was abducted. Now that would have been interesting.
All because of what his dad just decided on. He wanted to keep his son instead of his daughter. I mean, pretty awful.
Well, the whole thing is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is it because he knew that Mulder would grow up to
try and find the truth? I think they all had to sacrifice the families, and I think that was part of the price they paid.
I think you do find that out later on.
You find it out later on, but that's part of the price they paid for being that senior and being in that whole conspiracy and overarching.
Yeah, I think
everybody had to
give one member of family. It's sort of like a sacrifice to the aliens. Interesting. It's a good one, but there's a couple of things in it that I'm not too sure of.
You mentioned Skinner as well, because at this point
Skinner's always been a bit wary, hasn't he?
Yeah, you're kind of not sure whether to trust Skinner, even though he's not really ever done anything. He's like, his hands are tied, I think.
Yeah.
I'm middle management, so I get that. You're totally caught in the middle.
Yeah,
most
she's
of the
caught
time.
between the high ups and the secret high ups. Aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
They come to you and they're like,
top secret,
right,
where I work.
make sure you do this,
No,
but
but you
also
are,
kill
like,
that person.
You're caught between other people, you know, and then the people here, and you're kind of stuck in it.
Stuck in the middle with you.
The kitties are, if the thing's vibrating, the kitties are both attacking the tripod.
The cat's on the tripod. Should take a picture of that. That'll be a good Instagram post.
I will. Instagram. We'll talk about that. But he kind of shows his cards in this one. You sort of mentioned that, didn't you?
I think you see that he is good and he's doing it for the good guys, and he knows which his moral compass points. Even though he does bad things, and earlier on you've never really seen him. But I think this is the episode where he becomes Skinner, the good guy.
Sorry, I'm listening.
It's alright, that's fine. You take a picture of the cat.
Take a picture of my kitties.
While they're in the mine, Mulder hears a rumbling and runs out. Scully doesn't follow for some reason, but she has an encounter of her own, which annoys me slightly. So Mulder sees this light rising up in the building, goes outside, and there's a massive UFO. And it is a UFO.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Nothing.
But at the same time,
on this planet and fly like that.
There you go. But at the same time, the Scully sees all these little people running humanoid
figures,
things,
and clearly no clothes, grey skin or little big heads and racing past. But she's only got a torch.
Well, she's like shaking it.
It's kind of like she's going like that because the torch.
I don't want to see.
I'm a scientist. And then she drops the
This
torch.
is not happening. This is not happening.
Ooh,
that episode's coming soon.
But she drops the torch, then you sort of see them running past, and then she gathers her wits about
Well,
her.
she never says anything. She doesn't say anything to Mulder. I just saw a load of people down there. Nothing. And then she sees something in the distance, a bright light, and a silhouetted man, which is a sort of callback to the abduction of Mulder's sister, when Mulder sees the silhouetted man in the doorway.
Yeah.
So, why doesn't she tell him?
Maybe she does, just not on
She
screen.
doesn't, and it never gets mentioned again.
It's stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah, I know it does. Right. You leave my drink alone. So, shall we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
Is Skinner pissed off? I think he's pissed off in the stairwell.
He is when he gets beaten up. By Croucher gets that sucker punch, doesn't he?
Yeah, but there's three on one. It's not fair.
And he's a big lad, Skinner. I rate Skinner. He's quite buff, really.
He is.
He's I reckon he can handle himself, but he gets battered, doesn't he? So
he can, but he didn't see the guy with
he's
the...
He's a bit annoyed, a bit vexed, and then he's like quite calm.
He's quite calm, isn't he?
And he's like on side with Mulder and Scully, and you're like, we'll give him his due, we trust him now. And then he gets battered, so I think he's probably more achy.
I think he's more pissed off with... I think the pointing of pissed offness has gone from Mulder and Scully to the cigarette smoking man. And that's what he's annoyed about.
Yeah, because that's a role reversal, that situation. Because like I said, usually cigarette smoking man is the calm one and Skinner's the one who's irate. Yeah. And in that, it flipped. And he was the one who was really calm.
Should we talk about Skinner's standing up to cigarette smoking man? Excellent scene. Skinner comes in, not Skinner, sorry. Cigarette smoking man comes in and he's like, I don't negotiate with anybody. Oh yeah? Brings in Albert Holstein, who's read the whole document, and they say that they've passed it on. He's told 20 people, and then those 20 people have told 20 people, and there's just so many people. It's like one of those phone lists that you had when you were a kid. Never mind. And so, and what does he say? He gives the great line of "Pucker up and kiss my ass."
Yeah.
And it's proper. This is Skinner's episode.
Yeah, it comes true in this one,
it does.
doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
How are you going to do your fanboy facts?
Oh, well, I'll put it in. I'll have to edit this one. Fanboy facts. Fanboy fact. This is where I read. This is the final television appearance of Walter Gotell, who played Klemper, before his death on May 5th, 1997, age 73. So that was a Nazi scientist guy. Yeah. The first time in the series where Scully's full name is revealed, Dana Catherine Scully, because it's on the file. The fictional Strughold mining facility was named for a real Nazi scientist, Hubertus Strughold, who served as the model for the Klemper character. So it's quite eerie. And I'm sure Strughold comes up again. I'm sure that name appears later on in a series.
There will be, but lots of German scientists were brought over. They were given clemency, whatever the expression is, to work in science, weren't they, in different countries.
Unable to find a real white buffalo calf at the beginning of the episode where there's a voiceover.
Native Americans are talking about it.
It's like an omen, isn't it? Yeah. The production team filmed a light-coloured calf and then bleached it in post-production. First time I read this, I saw the term bleach, and I was like, no, it's in post-production. It was the 90s, I won't put it past them. Where are we at? The fictional Victor Klemper is based on Strughold. I've written that twice. That's how good a fanboy fact it was. A Nazi...
Not his dyslexia.
I've said I was dyslexic. Oh, I am not. A Nazi medical researcher who was accused of conducting inhumane experiments on concentration camp prisoners. Interestingly, the Klemper character name is almost identical to that of Victor Klemperer, who was a German Jew who escaped prosecution during World War II by fleeing to American-controlled territory. Yeah, thank you for that. Where we at? The episode is now. I didn't see this at this one, but it says that it's dedicated to superfan Mario Mark Kennedy, who died of a car accident just prior to season 3 going on the air. So, but I didn't see that in the one that we watched tonight.
It might come up. Sometimes it doesn't come up.
Should press play. Probably get. It jumped to episode 3.
Just our time.
It's stupid.
Never mind.
I can't turn it off. There we go. Shut up. When Mulder asks Scully how she did know he was going to be alive, Scully answers, "I just knew," which was a callback to the Eve episode. When the kids would say, "We just knew." I like that episode. Did I like that episode? I can't remember.
Yeah, you did like it.
Klemper mentions the names Freud, Salk, Crick, and Watson. He's referring to Sigmund Freud, Jonas Salk, Francis Crick, and James Watson, all of whom are responsible for significant discoveries or advances in their fields of research. The aliens who run past Scully in the mining facility are portrayed by children. Ages and the spacecraft spotted by Mulder was achieved using a crane with lights on the outside of the building to raise up. I feel like getting bored. The scene in which Krycek flees from the imminent car bomb was hampered by difficulties with the pyrotechnics. Nicholas Lee was among a group that repeatedly rehearsed the scene but found that the pyrotechnics were not working. Although this caused him to become nervous while filming because they weren't going up, so you'd have to go back to it. And you know what they say about fireworks: if it doesn't go up, don't go back. The crew finally managed to make the explosion work, and according to Lee, he got about 30 or 40 feet away before the rig detonation, the concussive pressure pushed into the ground.
Crikey.
So he's been through the ring, hasn't he, the last few episodes, because he got a massage out of the last episode, didn't he? Napier's constant is used as a code to access a mining facility in the episode, though the code is used in error. Scully and Mulder use the code 27828 to unlock the door, when in fact the first 5 digits of Napier's constant are 27182. That's really bad because they're referencing it, but then you get it wrong.
Getting it wrong. It's unusual, really, because there's quite a lot of attention to detail in some of that, isn't there?
And I'll put this, but we've already discussed it. It's the first real time we see Skinner stand up to Cigarette Smoking Man with the fantastic line, "Pucker up and kiss my ass."
It's loud.
Thank you. And that's the end of Fanboy Facts. Is everybody sad? I'm sad. No. Alright. Well, that's our first live episode. It's a random one.
It is.
because it's like episode 2 of season 3. And it's strange that I persuaded you to do it.
I know, because like, I normally have straightened hair and we just look alright, stay at the pair of us, but it's, there's only...
Yeah, there's only 2 people watching it.
Only you lot, we don't mind.
Yeah.
You won't judge.
You might.
Well, be kind.
Yeah, be kind. Thanks for watching and listening. If you're listening to this, or you will be listening, please share and leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. You hate this bit, don't you?
I hate this bit.
But this is how you...
I feel like you're selling me a second-hand car.
Oh, God's sake. Or wherever you get your podcasts from. Please like, share and subscribe.
And look at what you could win.
This is what you could have won.
Could have won a speedball.
Follow me on Twitter at Movie Ultimate and Reopen the X-Files. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ultimate Movie Geek, where my recent review is Batman The Killing Joke that went up yesterday. So go and watch that and like it. Yeah. And like this, because this is going on YouTube too. So, yeah, that's it. That's the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, remember everybody, look to the skies, because the truth is out there.